Page 22, Ashokan Farewell again. This is a duet, so it's a little bit different. I wasn't going to give a lesson on this, but I see all these broken chords, so let's just go through it. 3/4 time, all the stuff I said before in the last video applies here too. The difference is this is a duet. And you see 3 stabs, but only the bottom 2 stabs is a grand staff. That's for the piano. The top staff is for some instrument that can play those notes. They're saying a digital keyboard, it could be a flute, any instrument that can, an oboe, a violin, that can read those notes. You have to be careful because some instruments are not concert keyed instruments. So if it were a clarinet or something, they might be able to read the notes, but it would sound terrible because a G on a clarinet is not a G on a piano. They're 2 different notes. So they have to transpose it. A good clarinet player can do that on site, though. They could read this and transpose it and play with you, too. So you're playing the piano part, the broken chords. So that's what I want to talk about. At the beginning, they're all just 8th notes, both hands at the time, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and that's all you're doing throughout this whole thing. Measure 8 when you get to the 5/7 chord, thumb comes down. See, there's really 4 notes involved in a 5/7 chord, and here we're using all 4 of them. So same thing in the last 2 measures there. That's 5/7 again, and we're using all 4 notes. They want you to identify the 1, 4, and 5/7 chords. Well, I've already told you. If it gets confusing to you, just play the notes at the same, play them as block chords. It's like at the beginning you have this, play them together. Then maybe you can see, oh, I see, that's a C chord. And that's an F chord. And then you can identify them as the 1, 4 and the 5/7 as appropriate. As far as the articulation goes, connect all this together. Just let it flow. Connect it all together. The really phrasing is going to be for the solo. They're going to do the phrasing. You just kind of connect everything. You're basically playing the left hand. Both hands together is basically playing one giant left hand. And so just connect it all. Dynamics, well, again, your background. So you got to stay in the background. So however your solo, however loud they're playing, you need to know how loud they're playing. You stay under it, whatever it is. If you have to play very soft, play very soft. Whatever it takes to stay under the soloist. So you're doing your part to support the soloist, to support the melody. So everything you're doing here is accompaniment, and you have to listen to the soloist and follow them and stay under them and the whole bit. It's a little different than when you have the melody yourself. Now they've added pedal, and that's okay. It's just overlapping pedal throughout, and you're changing on here. No big deal, I hope. It adds the overtones. And when you go to crescendo and things like that, well, you don't know how much. You have to listen to the soloist, because you got to stay under the soloist. You may not crescendo much any at all. It depends on what the soloist does. Then at the end, of course, you have a retardando. The last 2 measures, slow down. And how much you slow down? Well, again, you got to listen to the soloist. You have to follow them. How much are they slowing down? And you just kind of try and stay with them as best you can. It's what rehearsing is for. You rehearse together so you get an idea of playing together, and then you'll have it better. I don't know that you really need to play with me on these chords. You can do these chords yourself. They're all just 8th notes, no big deal, until the end and you get quarter notes. Okay. The fermata at the end, again, how long do you hold it? It's up to the soloist. You have to follow them. So as long as they're holding their note, you hold yours. And when they stop, you stop. And hopefully you stop at the same time. Good luck. I would like to do the solo part. And then if you want to do the piano part as a duet, you can do that. So I'm going to play the solo part, just pretty much like I'm performing it. And you can add your part to it. So I'm going to give me 2 counts because I come in on beat 3. You don't come in until the next measure. So I come in a 3 and then you come in 1 and 2. So you play along with me. I can't hear you, but hopefully you can hear the whole thing. So I'll give us 2 counts, and I'm going to take it pretty much up to speed. They want the piano part played higher rather than here. I think it sounds just fine right here. They want it up here. I don't care for that. I think that's way too high. So I'm going to play it where it's written. I'm not going to play it an octave higher. So I'm just stay there. Ready and go, and 1 and 2 and 2 and 2. One and 2 and. One, 2, hold 2, off.